California sea otter, Anhydra nereus, was the keystone creature of dense coastal kelp forests in the San Diego region. Prior to intense hunting of this species for fur trade, thick algal beds existed from the tip of Baja California to Hokkaido, Japan. The California subspecies population was between 50,000 and 250,000 individuals. Industrial hunting of otters started in the mid-1700s and continued until 1911, when an international treaty protecting them was signed. Southern otter population declined to about 50 individuals. By that time, the size of many kelp beds were also in deep decline. Otters eat sea urchins, crabs, snails, abalone, about 100 marine species. Sea urchins control kelp by eating it. Otters keep critters that munch out on kelp in control. Lobbies for commercial harvesting of fish, sea urchins, and kelp have stopped federal fish and wildlife from colonizing south of Point Conception with this largest member of the weasel family. Some environmentalists in San Diego area support the idea of trying to reestablish the ancient kelp bed habitat with kelp plantings and otter introduction. The sea otter is an attractive creature that is easy to anthropomorphize. People think they're cute. One of the big fundraisers for aquariums and environmental groups are stuffed otter toys. In near-shore kelp beds, floating, preening, and sleeping sea otters can be seen. Often they are wrapped in kelp anchors to keep them from drifting with tides and waves. Sometimes they will group into single-sex large or small rafts by hooking forepaws. They have the thickest fur of any mammal, comprised of up to 1 million hairs per square inch. These hairs provide a massive air trap that keeps the animal warm, so they don't need blubber. This limits their diving range to about 60 feet. However, they have been recorded to the 350-foot depth. They propel themselves with a short, thick tail and 2 large webbed hind feet. We observe them during the day lying on their backs, preening and preening and preening. Getting air between the hair fibers is busy work. Then they fold limbs onto the body and get comfortable for a nice snooze. This daytime animal feeds and forages 3 times a day, then preens and sleeps in between. They dive, locating prey by feel using long and sensitive whiskers and non-webbed forepaws. A typical dive is about a minute. A loose pouch of skin extends over the chest for storage of catch prey and stones. These are one of a few tool-using mammals. The otter brings up 2 rocks with their catch of mollusks and puts 1 flat rock on their chest as an anvil, holds the prey on it, then smashes it with the other rock. Tough abalone may receive 45 hits a minute to break the shell. Other food is just torn apart and eaten while the hunter is on his back on the surface. The sea otter is the largest weasel family member, weighing between 30 and 90 pounds. The male has many females that he mates with. Mating occurs at all times of the year. However, hormones determine egg implantation. Once the egg is implanted, gestation takes 4 months. Mating is often a raucous and violent act. One of the ways to identify the female is by the scar on her nose that resulted from having her head held underwater. She gives birth to 1 pup that weighs about 4 pounds. The newborn pup has its eyes open, a full thick body of fur, and 10 visible teeth. The fur is so dense and air-saturated that the newborn floats. It cannot dive. When the mother forages, she wraps the youth in kelp so it will not drift away. She nurses for 8 months. The female otter is an outstanding mother. Female otters live for 15 to 20 years, while the male lasts for 10 to 15. The current population is between 2,500 and 3,000 individuals. The average recovery rate for the species was about 5% a year, but in recent years there's been a decline in the population of about 1.5% a year. These reductions are due to predation by sharks and orcas, bacterial and viral infections from cat poop and fertilizers, and entanglement in fishing lines and nets. The sea otter, a story of species recovery, political intrigue, and commercialism.